Hey guys, welcome back. Today I have another 1:18 scale model to show you. As you can see, it is a Porsche Carrera GT. I actually have this model for quite a long time now, possibly over 10, maybe 15 years ago. And this Carrera GT is the original released model by Maisto. The more recent release of Maisto model, they are made in China, but this one is made in Thailand. So with this model, there are two variations, I believe. One of them is the prototype, and then the other one is this one in front of you, which is a production model. There are not that many differences between the two. Mainly, I think the front bumper is slightly different on the prototype model. The rear clear window area is slightly different. The engine bay, you could see the layout is slightly different as well. The side mirror, the production model, is a lot shorter compared to the prototype version. And I think those are the main differences that I've noticed just by looking at the photos available on internet. I haven't got the prototype version, so I can't really do a side-by-side comparison for you guys. But this review is just mainly going to cover this production model by Maisto. So as you can see, this model is quite an old model. I try my best to keep it in, the best quality as possible. I've noticed there are some paint rash on the body, not very significant, but definitely, I have noticed them. Apart from that, the model is pretty good in terms of the condition. I keep the model in the display cabinet, so there's not a lot of dust on the model. You might see there's slight color variation between the body and the side doors. This is just because of the reflection of light from the mirror. Later on, when I remove the model car from the spinning top, you will see all the colors are identical throughout the body. So I hope you guys like this model. I'll let you guys enjoy the 360 view of this beautiful Carrera GT. Some of you guys might already have the Carrera GT in your collection, maybe made by AutoArt or Motormax, I think there's a company called. The AutoArt ones is very, very expensive if you want to try and find one nowadays. If they are available, there might be the odd ones that you see on eBay. The Maisto ones are still, I won't say very available, but you can definitely find them in different colors as well as different colors combination as well. I've seen quite recently on eBay, there is another black or metallic black version of the Carrera GT with a slightly different color interior as well. My one is more to the kind of reddish brown color, but you can also find the slight different color variation as well. I can't remember exactly what color the other options are, but there are options out there. And you could also get this model car in silver as well, which is quite popular. But I think this is purely based on the feedback and comment that I found online. Apparently the metallic black version with the dark red brownish color interior, this combination seems to be a bit more rare compared to the other color combination, but don't quote me on that. This is what I've found from online. It might not be true. Besides, I have this model in my collection for such a long time, I kind of lose track on what is what anymore. But overall, it is still a very, very good model if you are into Porsche Carrera GT. It is a very, very beautiful car. The real car sounds amazing as well. I'm sure you guys will be able to find the YouTube channel where you'll be able to hear the real engine sound from the real car, which is pretty amazing. So just to give you guys a little bit more information before I remove the model from the spinning top to get closer to the camera, this is a 1:18 scale model car. It is made out of die cast, so it is quite heavy. The paintwork is metallic black, and you can see on the rims it's got a nice polished silver color on the actual rims. And just like the other race car, this Carrera GT has the blue center lock on the right hand side, and on the opposite side you will see red center locking nut, which is quite cool. The interior, as I mentioned, there are different color variation. This one is just a dark red or dark reddish brown color, which I think is quite nice. The interior is of a nice plastic material, but on the actual seat, I'll show you at the close-up, it does have a leather effect somehow, which looks rather nice. And in terms of the front hood and the engine bay compartment, it is pretty good as well. I'll show you guys those details in just a sec. So I hope you guys had a good look around of the Carrera GT model by Maisto. Now I'm going to stop the spinning top, and I will bring the car closer to the camera to show you guys the details about the model. So let me remove the spinning top. Okay. So just to show you guys the model, it does roll freely. So let's start from the underside. There's nothing special about it, but it does have the carbon texture on the underside all the way to the rear diffuser. You can see the steering on this model, and it's printed Porsche Carrera GT. The scale is 1:18, made by Maisto, and this being the original release of their model. So this model is made in Thailand, and you can see the rear tires are wider than the front too, and you can see the tire tread marks. They're quite nicely done as well. And then the rear diffuser is pretty detailed with molded carbon texture on it, and it's quite a massive diffuser as well. So let's take a look at the front. So looking at the bottom of the bumper, you can see there are a few air vents, and those are with molded texture air vent. And then you have the number plate that sticks out. I believe the number plate bracket itself is made of metal, and then they put a sticker on it. The Carrera GT is actually, it was manufactured between 2004 to 2006. So somehow the number plate just show GT 2003. And then looking on the bonnet, you can see the very nice detailed Porsche logo right in the center. And then the headlamps, the cluster is pretty nice. You can see the actual dome shape headlamp as well, which is pretty cool. Consider this is quite an old model. Looking at the side, you can see the wheels are actually done really nicely. I'm actually very surprised by the details that Maisto have put in on this model car. So here behind the wheel you have the side indicator, I believe, and then on the actual wheel you can see there are markings on the tire wall, and these are molded details. You can see the Michelin logo, and then some writing in front, or not writing, there are 3 stripes in front of it. And then there are some more details about the tire. Can't quite read what is said. For experimental use only. Interesting. And then further you have another 3 stripes, and it's showing pilot spot. And then you have the dimension of the tire. I think it's read 265/30R19. So it's very, very detailed. And then the actual wheel itself is done very nicely as well. The shape is very accurate, and you have the center locking nuts in blue with the Porsche logo in the middle. And here at 6 o'clock you also have the valve cap molded onto the wheel, which is nice. At least it is there. And then if you look through the wheel, you will have the brake disc and the brake caliper. But this being an old or original release model by Maisto, so the brake disc, it doesn't spin, and it doesn't spin through the brake caliper because it's all molded in one piece. But the caliper is painted in bright yellow, and you can see the details on it, which is nice. And it also have the Porsche logo on the brake caliper as well. The brake disc itself again is quite detailed with all the holes drilled through. And then if you look further behind the brake disc, I'm sure you might be able to see the suspension coil. And this model does have suspension for the front as well as for the rear, which is pretty cool. So carry on from the side. That's the side indicator again, and then you have the side door. There's a small indentation for the door handle right there. You have the side mirror, which is quite detailed, and the prototype version, I think the side mirror is of similar structure, but it extends further back to the side door. So this one is quite a short one in comparison. And then behind the side door, there's a big air vent to duct the air to cool the engine. And then you have the rear wind deflector at the bottom as well. And then coming to the rear wheel, which is very similar to the front wheel, the tire, it does have all the details on the tire wall. It's very, very cool. And this one, it should show the tire size is slightly wider. So this is 335/30R20. So not just it's wider, this is 335, and the front is 265. The front profile is 30, which is the same as the rear, but the front wheel is 19-inch, whereas the rear is 20, so it's slightly larger as well. But all the details are captured on the tire wall, which is very, very cool. And just like the front wheel, you have the brake disc and brake calipers, and the rear you have 2. So you have the main bright yellow Porsche logoed brake caliper, and there's also a smaller yellow piece for the handbrake. And again, the brake disc doesn't spin, unfortunately, being the older generation model or the original release model by Maisto, but it does have suspension travel, which is nice. And then coming to the rear, you can see the small ducktail. This spoiler, or the wing, rear wing, on the real car it does come up when you reach a certain speed, but on this model it is pretty much fixed, so you can't pull it up, unfortunately. And then in the middle of the tail wing, you can see the sticker for the center brake light. The right brake light is pretty nice. It has some molded details as well, which is cool. And it's just the same on the other side. And underneath the rear wing, you can see there is an outlet with the mesh pattern on it. So that's very nice. It's very detailed. And then the big Carrera GT logo on the rear bumper. And then you have the number plate and the twin exhaust on each side of the number plate. And then you have the red fog lamp as well. And then the massive diffuser. So very cool. And then coming back to the driver side, so you can see the locking cap is in red color, again with all the tire wall details. And then the front wheel as well, so there. And then looking further from the bonnet, you can see the windscreen. It's pretty cool. You can see the center rear view mirror as well. And then you have the front windscreen wiper at the bottom. It's quite nice. There are some details down there as well. You can see the dash details. And here, this is what I mean by they have done the leather pattern on the interior, which is quite nice. And also the dash is painted in silver, black, and the reddish brown color as well, which is cool. And you can see there are some buttons around the center console as well. So the side mirror, there are reflective stickers on each side, same as the center one. And if I open the two doors, you can see there are details on the door card as well, which is nicely done. They didn't just left it in black, which is nice. They actually put in the three colors again, or maybe just molded in black but painted the reddish brown and the silver color. And also there's another separate piece in kind of shiny chrome silver right there at the end. You probably can see it better on this side of the door. It's pretty cool. And then to the racing seat, again you can see they have added various color on the seat. And there is a seat belt there, but the buckle has been left in black. But it is easy to paint it over to highlight the buckle. And then on the door seal, there is a Carrera GT sticker on it. And on the left side of the seat right here, you can see the handbrake as well. And then on the actual seat, you can see the leather pattern. I'll try to focus right there. You can see the leather pattern on the seat, which is quite cool. And on the passenger side, you have some details in the kick plate on the floor. There's a small silver highlighted area for the glove box compartment. And then the center console, you can see the gear stick. And then there are some buttons alongside as well. And here you can see the steering wheel, two-tone, with the Porsche logo in the middle, and the speedometers are in front of it. It's all very detailed. Sorry about the focusing. And then you have the pedals at the bottom right here. It's all there. It's pretty cool. What's there? Oh yeah, there is a seat belt on the passenger side as well. So it is pretty neat for a not too expensive model. Now take a look at the front trunk. You can see the dog legs, hinges, but at least it's black, so it's not as obvious if you're only halfway opening it rather than having it fully exposed. That is pretty acceptable. And then inside you can see the compartment has been painted in a different color, and you could also feel the texture as well, but it's all molded texture. I think the real car, this has got a what do you call it, like a shield or a piece of material or fabric around the front trunk. So that would be fabric material, but it looks okay in the model. Okay, now take a look at the engine compartment. So one thing I've just noticed as well, on the engine compartment window, you can see there are some details of the mesh, which is quite cool. But on each side of the window, there's actually an air vent to duct air into the engine bay as well. I didn't notice it before, but it's there. And here, let me show you, there's also another center brake light behind the two racing seats. And then with the engine cover opened, you can see the engine details, which is quite nice. You can see the top cylinder block with the Porsche logo on each side, and then the airbox right next to it as well. And you can see the carbon texture panels and the suspension coil as well. These are actually real coil, although the suspension coil is not actually linked to the coil for the rear suspension. The rear suspension actually have a separate set of springs in there behind the brake disc. So these ones are just for decoration purposes, but it is a real coil. And then you can see the rest of the engine details, which is not too bad. Consider the age of the model. So that's everything I want to show you guys on the Carrera GT made by Maisto. It is a very good looking model. If you don't want to spend too much money to buy the Auto Art version, then you can always consider the Maisto model or Motor Max. I know they also make them, but I just don't know how well they made the model because I haven't seen one in person. Burago possibly also made the same model. I'm not 100% sure whether they have made it, but my guess is they probably have. They normally share very similar model between Burago and Maisto anyway. But if you're interested into getting a Porsche Carrera GT in your collection, then the Maisto one is definitely worth considering if you are not willing to spend too much to get the auto art version. And also, this being a die-cast model, you can really feel the weight on the model. And just one last thing I want to show you guys, because of the age of the model, the paint rash that I have noticed previously, it's probably quite hard to show you on camera, but they are definitely there. I'm just trying to find one. It's quite hard to see. It looks almost perfect on the camera, but if you look at the model in person, you would definitely see there's a very slight paint rash. It's either a paint rash or the metallic powder inside the paint are more exposed on the surface to give me the illusion that I thought it was paint rash, but maybe that wasn't the case. So maybe it wasn't this model that I saw the light paint rash. I mean, I cannot see it from here at the moment, so maybe it was another model that I was looking at that I've noticed that light paint rash. So there you are, guys. I hope you liked the Carrera GT review, and I believe I have covered all of the details on the model. If you've got any questions that you want to ask, then feel free to drop the question on the comment box below, and I'll come back to you as soon as I can. And I would definitely recommend you to get this Carrera GT to add to your model collection. It is a very good looking model, and you don't have to break your bank to get this quality model in your collection. So I'll leave it there. I hope you guys enjoy it. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please feel free to subscribe to my channel. I have actually just reached 1,000 subscribers, so thank you very much, everyone. Really appreciate for your support, and I will look forward to seeing you guys again in my next video. Take care for now. Bye bye.